Good morning, everybody. I'm glad that y'all are here. Today we are going to do the last part of Holy Week and getting to the tombs. We are going to start at 9:30. So since none of y'all are on right now, I guess nobody's listening to me, but maybe you'll hear it at some time. Oh, there's somebody. So finally. Let's see. I'm used to it. I mean, at home, nobody's listening to me. Is there an actual button to push up the microphone? I see the speakers, but there's not one for the microphone, right? Yeah, I didn't think so.
I could hear you fine on Facebook.
You could? Okay, perfect.
Mic sensitivity.
It said it was working, but I just wanted to make sure, especially when people ask questions. I don't know. I want to make sure that people can hear. So, all right. We have 3 people on. Good. And so I hope that y'all are going to enjoy this today. Oh, Smarty, you're one of them. I got all excited thinking everybody's here.
I'm a booster.
Yes, you are. Thank you. So we'll get a few more minutes. I know people are used to me giving a few minutes after 9:30.
Are you going to have another class after next Sunday?
Yes, great question. That's a great question I want to ask you. Obviously, we're not going to have class on on Easter Day. But how many of y'all will be here the first Easter? Sunday after Easter. Because it's actually sometimes a low attendant. So everybody, I guess, thinks they have to take a weekend off because that was a lot. You won't be here.
I don't know because I'll.
So let me see a hand shake. So most of you, okay. All right, then I will do that on Easter. I do have to still check with Jonathan to make sure he doesn't have something set because I don't want to bump his class if he is. But I'll talk to him, and as long as he's okay, then we'll do that.
Booster.
As a booster.
No. Man, guys are giving me false. Well, actually, what I love is some of the people that were on here are now here, so I love it. So anyway, yes, we will do that. We'll do Easter as long as I'm not bumping a program because I do want to show you after the resurrection. And I also want to show you a few things talking about trying to think of the name of it now. But anyway, yeah, there's some other places that Jesus, we already showed Masada. We already have seen that. But Armageddon, that's what I'm trying to think. So see where the final battle's supposed to be. John and I went out and picked a fight, but they wouldn't take it. So you're right. Why not? It's like, oh, come on, we've got to die of something.
You're going to die at Armageddon.
That's right, die at Armageddon. How cool. Make sure you just put it on my stone. Die at Armageddon. Lost. Okay, it's time. Well, again, good morning, everyone. I'm glad everyone is here. I'm glad all of you are here today. We're going to go ahead and get started because, like I said, we have a lot to still see, and I want to try to finish out the series. I hope y'all have really enjoyed it so far. After, we're going to start on Easter 1, if I'm not bumping into another class, and we're going to see post-resurrection pictures and some stories behind that, and a couple of other pictures of just Israel, so that you can see that as well. Come on in. All right. Oh, wait a minute. That's right. When am I going to ever learn, There we are. Come on. There you go. All right. Seriously. All right. Again, we're starting with Holy Week like we did last week. We got through from the Mount of Olives, if you remember. Jesus is coming down on the donkey. He's coming through the gates. He's coming into the temple. there at the temple. He has knocked over the money changers. And then on those steps I showed you outside of the temple is the teaching steps. And that's where he starts teaching. And he's trying to explain to them, if you remember, about the Son of Man. The Son of Man will be turned over. He'll be, and people just don't want to hear this. And finally we get to the upper room, and there are his disciples. We went there, and his disciples don't want to hear that in the upper room. They're very upset. So now we've gotten to the actual road that Jesus walks. So why is this not? Oh, is it on? Turning it on would really help. So come on. Are you serious? Come on. There we go. All right. So we showed last week. This is the area that Jesus is actually beaten, stripped of his clothes for the first time. They put on a robe. They put on a crown on him. This is where Pontius Pilate is at. He would have been upstairs, upstairs because it's a church, but had been down here in his courtyard area where he's talking to them, and they're screaming, "Crucify him." So this whole area, like I said, you got to kind of ignore the roof of this, and see it as it was outside when they were doing. Okay, so are you serious? What is going on? Why is it not? Guys, I don't understand this. Why is it doing that? It's on, right? You know what? I hope my batteries aren't out. Yeah, I think it is. Let me see. Well, that's on.
You want me to go get some from the side?
Well, no, it just seems no. We got the wrong kind in there. Yeah, I think the battery. All right. So we'll just do it the old school. So anyway, now we're at station 3. Jesus falls for the first time, and so now we're walking down the path, and people are seeing this. They're following. I just want to show you the beautiful artwork. It's absolutely gorgeous. They had these beautiful statues. And so every year, this week, as a matter of fact, people will be walking, and I mean packing these alleyways, walking to all the stations. Station 4, Jesus meets his mother. And you see the beautiful statue they have here. And I will say, just for personal reasons, this really grabbed me hard, seeing Mom, the love between mom and son. And so, I mean, I can't imagine the torment of Mary at this time. Station 5, this is where Simon of Cyrene helps Jesus carry the cross. They have him carry it behind him as Jesus continues to walk. And it is one of the things to really answer is the way they beat Jesus. I never could understand how he could walk all the way to Calvary. I mean, with the blood loss and the whole bit. But Simon of Cyrene is there, and they always have them together as they're carrying it. That may have been, but this is the way that he does it. Remember, Simon doesn't want to. He's just picked out of the crowd. And there's a lot of theological, there's a lot of theology behind that you know what, sometimes we're picked too, and we don't want to do it, but yet here we are. We're here for Christ. And there's the beautiful statue. This is station 6. This is where Veronica is at. Veronica wipes the face of Jesus. What's really incredible about this is she actually, according to legend, what she did was she took a cloth and she just presses on Jesus' face because of sweat and blood. And apparently when she pulled it off, there's the imprint of Jesus' face, like a picture. And that cloth is actually at the Vatican today. So Jesus falls for a second time. This was really big for us, wasn't it, Karen? And I'll show you why. Come on in. So he falls for the second time. What's really incredible is his followers saw where he fell for the second time, and they ended up removing one of the stones that he fell on, where his handprint went. And today, it is actually on the church that stands in front of it. So yeah, it's absolutely incredible that they have that and they have it. So pilgrims over 2,000 years have come since this was built. So it's not quite 2,000 years. The Templars, and then when they all built this, they put that in, and now you can see where the pilgrims have done this over time, because you can see how far it's going in. So as I was telling Karen and Zoe, and then when we were in Johnny and Janie, it's not just about Jesus, but it's also joining all the pilgrims that have gone before us. And so that was really cool. So there's Zoe. There is Karen. There's Janie. There's my hand again, because, I'm pompous. But I did it to show, again, the depth of it. I wanted to show y'all. See how it's gone down and smooth like that? There's John, and there it is. You can see where over, 1500s. And so people have gone and they've made a Jerusalem cross or a Crusader cross in it. Do you see them in there? So anyway, remember again, this is all road. This is not stairs. And there may have been markets out there, but this is not covered in Jesus' time. He's walking down this alleyway. And so he would be walking. And yes, somebody said, Karen, I think, saying she was surprised how hilly it really is. And it's like it's like West Texas, it's the rock and all that. So anyway, so Jesus has to go up hills also. So I mean, it's terrible. So you keep walking, as you see. And then we get to station 6. Jesus consoles the daughters of Jerusalem. We'll hear those words today. Don't cry for me, Jerusalem, ladies. Cry for you and your children, right? Because of all that's about to happen. And then we continue walking. Continue to walk. Hey, you get some grapefruit juice there. I don't think Jesus stopped for one, though. And so I'm just trying. It's not far, but I just want to show you. It makes it look further than it is, but it really isn't that far. But yet, it's as you can see, he continues to walk. Finally, he gets here. Station 10, Jesus is stripped of his garments. He's stripped of his garments up here. This is where the Romans play the lots, or the game I showed y'all on the ground. And they decided to, because they didn't want to tear Jesus' clothes. Remember, they put the robe on him and all that to be king. And the soldiers were like, hey, he's going to go up on the cross. He doesn't need all that. So we'll take it. And so we don't want to rip it. So they played this game. And that's where they do that. Now, I'm going to show you. I wanted to show you inside. I got a couple of pictures here for you as we get ready to go inside this, okay? I've taken the church and split it because I want you to kind of see it a little bit as in when there were no churches, right? And so what we're going to see, and we're going to see in the next picture, I got it split too, so you'll see it, is up here is Calvary. This is a bad picture. I'm going to do the next picture. It'll be better. But this is where right here is where they stripped him of his clothes. And this is where we're walking in right here. Okay. So here, that's a better picture. So here's Calvary. Now you notice the stones are just like poking out. St. Helena, when she started to build the churches, she actually had some of the stone removed so that the churches could actually go in, because you've got this cropping of rock, and you can't just set a church on it, so they cut where they had to. So she kept Calvary. So this is Calvary, and after they take him down, and they're going to prepare his body here, and then they're going to put him inside the tomb. So that's just, it's not that far, but this is what it would have looked like. Matter of fact, down here also is where they found the, because we're going to talk about it in a minute, where they found the crosses. Okay, so this is Calvary, where they took care of his body, and there's the tomb. All right, station 11. Jesus is nailed to the cross. This is what it looks like up there now, where I showed you Calvary. Remember just the stone you saw up there? This is it. This is where they nailed him. again, there would have been a much larger rock cropping up there where they do all of this. And so that's why I wanted to show you a minute ago. And this is station 12. This is where Jesus is put on the cross, and this is where he dies. Actually, it's right here. It's got Mary, and over here, I'm going to show you in a minute, is James. He's over here with Jesus. It's absolutely beautiful. See, there's right here. And that's our group right here. In front of it, as we're going, you can actually go in and touch the rock of Calvary. And so that's what they're doing. And here's one of the piece of rock of Calvary. The legend is that when Longinus speared Jesus, remember, he's the head of all the centurions, and he goes to make sure, his job is to make sure everybody's dead on the cross. And so they decided, because Sabbath is coming, if they haven't died, if you remember, they're going to break their legs, and that way it'll pool blood down below. It also gives them less support, because it's not the bleeding, it's actually suffocation. That's what, it's a long, long suffocation on the cross. And so that breaking their legs would have put more weight and would have hurried up the suffocation. Romans didn't play. So when Longinus did this, he went and he speared Jesus in the side to see if he's dead. And he's dead. It says that water and blood came out separately. When it did, it says that it cracked the stone of Calvary, and that crack is still there. Obviously, it would be still there, I guess, but they have it protected, and and the reason I want you to look at this is we're going to see something here in a few minutes. No, Del, I don't need your stuff to sell. So I wanted you to see this crack, okay? Because we're going to talk about it here, because there's something really cool about it too, besides just being Calvary, of course. There it is again.
Father, question in the middle. Do they have all the stations? Do they have the Stations of the Cross service?
Yes, that will be happening this week. They will pack. I mean, they'll have candles and everything, and they will pack, and they will go through all of this together. Then they will have services. And I'll talk about, remind me that just when we get to the tomb, would you just raise your hand and just remind me? Here's where the Calvary is, where the cross would have gone in. There's Zoe putting her hand in it. There's mine, because some reason when I took my pictures, they didn't come out. And I said, okay, I guess the Lord just did not want me to take my picture with it, but he let my hand go. So just put my hand in. So what I want to show you is it's up here is Calvary, okay? But now we're coming down below where where you walk in. And the reason I want to do it in this order, we did it the opposite. We were downstairs looking, then we went up. But I'm going to do it in opposite order for a reason. So we're going to come downstairs. So we're leaving the rocks up the higher cropping, okay? And we're coming down. This is the chapel of Adam. Yes, the Adam, okay? The chapel of Adam. And I've taken this picture, or have this picture set this way because it's one of those that spreads it out so it doesn't look like, I mean, you know, it's the chapel, and then you got this on. But I wanted to show you. This is the chapel of Adam right here. And the reason it's chapel of Adam is because, legend has it, this is where Adam is buried. Did you know that? That's right. So you will see, sometimes you will see on Calvary, Jesus on the cross, and down below you'll see a skull. And that's the skull of Adam. Okay? And here's why. Here it is. This is the rock of Calvary. He's right over top, okay? And here's the altar and everything. There's another piece of the Calvary. And there's down, people put notes to God down here, but this is supposed to be the grave of Adam. And yes, you know me, I gotta put my hand up there. What I want to show is two things here. I hope I'm not, let's see. No. Oh, come on. And now I'm going backwards. Hold on. I would mess it up. Come on. All right. So I just want to make sure. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. So 2 things here. Again, the altar for Adam. Remember the crack up above? What they say is when Longinus speared him and that blood went, it cracked that stone, and that blood went down to Adam, forgiving Adam for his original sins. He's overcome it. This is what Holy Saturday comes from, is that it starts with Adam and that Jesus descends to hell. And it's not for punishment, but it's where you went. This is where he finally defeats death, right? And this is where those before are released and saved. And it starts with Adam. So I thought it was pretty cool. As we walk by this door, touches, because I love, architecture and touching this door and everything. And behind that door is actually part of the Greek treasury. And in that Greek treasury is this beautiful piece here and this icon. And in the center there is the true cross. So there it is. They got really insulted when I said I'll give them $150 so that I can put it on my wall in the office. They chased me for 3 miles. So anyway, but I think that's absolutely incredible. They did not open this up for us, unfortunately, when we were there. I would love to have seen it, but that's a piece of the true cross. All right, so Jesus Station 13. Jesus has been taken down from the cross. He's now put on this rock where Sabbath is coming, the Shabbat, and so they have to hurry up as quick as possible. So they're quickly. Joseph of Arimathea says, "You know what? I've got this tomb. We can put him in there. Let's hurry up." And he helped get all the spices. Here's the rock right here, in which they laid Jesus to help him. And I'm hoping this is going to work.
Hey everyone, I'm still here and I just touched the rock of Calvary. Here I just wanted to show you this is the stone where they prepared Jesus' body, which is absolutely incredible. So I'll take you, if the sun will show right. Touch you. It's absolutely incredible. They took care of Jesus' body. They prepared him. And then ready for burial, which you can over there. So there was Calvary where he died. They took him off. They brought him here. Remember, it's through the Sabbath they had to hurry. And so they prepared his body here, took him over to the grave of Joseph of Arimathea, the tomb. And that's where they buried him.
I love how people come and they were worshiping behind me, and there's me doing a video. That's class.
When you were at that particular study, did you happen to see any folks come up with vials of oil and they would run?
Not at that time, but I know that does happen.
They'll take an amphora of oil and they'll just
Mm-hmm. And people will bring like items and stuff to put on it. I touched it too, but this is one of the ones I really wanted to see. And there's again. Maybe I should be a little bit more somber than I am, but I'm so excited. It's an art. I took biblical archaeology, so for me, this is just like, So anyway, oh come on, Keith, get over it. Okay, Station 14. Jesus is laid in the tomb. Now I want to cut this again. This is the tomb, and you walk in here, and in here is the larger chamber where the families would have stayed. But we're going to talk about that a little bit too. And here's where they would have actually laid Jesus. Okay, so I'm going to cut it away. There we go. And
hey everyone, I'm here at the Holy Sepulchre where they laid Jesus' body in the tomb. There's actually 2 places they say they laid Jesus. One is here, which is actually seen as the actual place by many different religions and different denominations, I should say. And the Protestants, of course, are out in the garden outside here, which we'll also see the beauty of this that they put together. I just had the the honor of my life to touch the stone where Jesus laid. It was absolutely an incredible experience. You can tell I'm actually quite emotional to be able to do such a thing. But again, this is where Jesus rose from the dead. This is where he completed his mission. This is where he brought us into the world of grace to save us, each and every one of us. Is on that Sunday morning as he woke from the dead, and there he is coming out until later where Mary sees him. Anyway, again, an incredible moment.
It was very, very emotional, if you can imagine. So this is going inside the tomb right here. They have an outer chamber and an inner chamber, as I was showing you. There's the side of it, the back of it. And there's this, they did this beautiful dome. And when the sun hits just right, it will start doing a beam until it hits exactly in the center. And it's beautiful. Again, this is now inside. We're going inside the tomb itself. This rock here, if you saw it when I showed you the beginning of it, you saw that like a pillar. It was kind of standing up, and this stone is on it. And on that stone is where the angel sat when they said, who are you looking for? He's risen. So this is where the angel would have been. This is inside. I'm sorry for the photos. And so anyway, here's the tomb inside. They've actually put other stone in the 1500s. This stone was laid on top of it, so that it didn't ruin the actual rock that he laid on. But still being in the site. But don't worry, that didn't stop me. I'll show you more.
Flying up into the crowbar.
Yeah, I wasn't arrested. Anyway, touching this again, it was very emotional, and it's absolutely beautiful in there. So there's where he would have laid his head right there. This is the Coptic church on the back. A lot of people didn't go in. I don't know why. It was beautiful. But went in and prayed, and also said, got something for Holy Trinity. So you ready?
Everyone, what I'm showing you is to the Coptic Christians. This is where Jesus laid his head.
See the rock up here that I touched? Look
It's the
below.
closest I can obviously bring to the burial site of Jesus inside for you. I want to show you.
So that's where he laid his head. This is the actual stone that's below it. And so I was like, I've got to get in there and somehow, nothing's too good for you guys. So anyway, that was an honor to actually touch the real stone below it. I took this picture. There was actually a chain here. I was very upset about that because I wanted to go in, but this lady's very mean. I found out. But this is actually where the garden would have been. Over here is where Mary Magdalene would have talked to Jesus, and he says, "Don't touch me." But there's this metal thing for candles. But right behind it, can you see that thing? It looks like a stool right behind it. First of all, don't sit on it. She will get mad. But it's actually a cross as well, and it is considered through all the religions. That's the center of the world, and so it's built like a navel. It's the center of the world. So that lady thinks she has a lot of power.
She's behind the chain and you're not.
She didn't look like anybody to mess with, I'll tell you. And we caught that a couple times. People, they get very touchy. And to go back real quick to your question, even in the tomb itself and all the surround, there are several denominations that actually control. And I mean, even when I meant to show you at Calvary, if you'll notice where Calvary is Greek, and then right next to it, you'll see where they nailed him. It's a totally different floor. That's Catholic. But they actually all take turns when you're talking about when they're going to do their services. They actually have times throughout. They have like 4 hours each of the different groups. Coptic, Greeks, Christian.
Armenians.
Mhm. So, and here is actually the tombs, they say, were owned by Joseph of Arimathea, and where Joseph was buried. Alongside, they say that that's where Nicodemus was also. Both of them wanted to be close to the Lord. And so that's where there's their tombs. I don't know what happened to them. No, I'm kidding. I will explain it sometime about the tombs. If we get time at the end, I will. This is actually where they found the crosses when they were digging, and they finally found it. And as you know, they wanted to see which one it was, and because they wanted to make sure they weren't fakes. And this is St. Helena. But apparently in some writings, it did say that one of the crosses did still have the sign saying King of the Jews. And so, but they wanted to make sure, and so they had the three out, and they had a couple sick people come, and they touched it, nothing. They touched it, nothing. They touched the third one, and they were healed. So that's what they say. So they knew that for sure was the real one. This is where the ladies stand out at the tomb, right here. And this pillar was brought into this area. This is actually from Pontius Pilate's area where I showed you down at the courtyard. This is where they strapped Jesus and they beat him. Now the Garden of Gethsemane. How are we doing? Yes. The Garden of Gethsemane. Now let me explain. There's two burial places. One was back from St. Helena. And they asked the local people where all these things happened, and that's where they showed them. But later, in 1883, there was a farmer, and the farmer was digging on his farm. It's a garden. And a garden means a farm, by the way, in Israel. So when you hear garden, it's not just flowers. It can be fruit or olives. The Garden of Gethsemane, olive garden, okay? So there's this farmer, and he's digging, and he finally hits this stone, and it's like, well, this is odd. This is man-made. So he starts digging further and says, I think this is a tomb. So they called some people in, some archaeologists, and they came in and they dug out the whole front and realized it is a tomb. And not only is it a tomb, it is from the time of Jesus. So they're like, we have a garden and we have this tomb. And as the archaeologist is, here, let's look at it real quick. So see, and here's the diagram of it. This is where, let me just go through this. You enter here. This is where the family would have stayed. This is where one of the tombs is where they lay you, and here's the other lay. Let me just explain real quick since we do have a couple minutes. The reason for the tomb was not to bury you in there forever. What they do is they would bury you in there for a year, and they would come and they would visit. And when you finally turn to bones, they would come and there's a ritual cleaning of the bones, and then they put you in an ossuary, a stone, a box in which they put it in, and then you're put in with your other family. So that's why when I was just teasing about where's Joseph of Arimathea and them, that's why. All right, so this is where they would have gone. I don't show that. We'll go past that. This is actually a picture of around 1884, 85, or maybe a little bit later, showing what it looked like. Look, you can still see the croppings, the outcroppings and all that out here. They haven't cleared it away yet, but this is what it looked like. Now, let me just tell you, well, maybe I get a better picture here. Well, yeah, all right. I'm going to go back, but I'm going to show you in a minute. You're going to see where there's some brick that's kind of put up there. That was actually the original opening. They put in a door so they could close it so people wouldn't go in. All right. So the rounder part is where they would, that's why you roll a stone instead of a door. Okay. So the archaeologist is there. They realize now that this is from Jesus' time. There is a garden. And he was actually sitting there drinking coffee, looking over at it, thinking, and he looks over and he sees this stone cropping here. And he says, oh my. And this is up close. 2 eyes, the nose, and the mouth. It's a skull. and they talked about the place of the skull. And he's like, oh my, I think we found it. So to some Catholics and some, the Coptic, they believe that the tomb is the first one that we saw. To Protestants, this is the real one. So there are two. There it is again. It's hard to see today, but the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and so that's the place of the skull. Now, one of the things they did explain, and I can see this, it makes a lot of sense, is down here, this road was one of the main roads going into Jerusalem. Remember, this isn't far. It's just outside the gates of Jerusalem. It's one of the main roads going into Jerusalem. And they said, I know there's a lot of paintings showing them on top of the rock, like that, but most of them were actually crucified on the road. Remember, Romans are trying to give a statement. You come in here and you mess up, this will happen to you. There is no debate about it. And so they feel that this is actually where Jesus would have been on the cross at the skull, like it says in Scripture. And then after they take him down, they would have brought him over to the tomb. Here's the tomb again. Here's where I'm talking about some of the brick they had to put in. So we are in it. I mean, it goes like, it's the whole thing. What I'm saying is when this was open, that's why you had to put a big old rock in front of it. Okay. Notice the niches up here, that's actually air ventilation. So when you're trying to get a body to get to that state, it needs to do its thing. So there we are. There it is again. It's absolutely beautiful. And I thought we took some pictures. They showed us some black and white pictures back in the day. And I actually went through this 3 times thinking it's one of the pictures I wanted to show you from back then. When I realized this is one of John's pictures, and John did it in black and white. And I didn't realize that's me. So I'm going to actually do this picture, or take care of this picture and put it up. I think that's absolutely beautiful. I'm sitting there reference. John was kind enough to take some pictures of me there. As Karen said, Janie said, he was like a kid in a candy shop. So this is inside the chamber, okay? So again, what I was showing you, I'm standing where the family would have been. They would have had this to be open. You could also go in there. These are the 2 places you would lay the body. Can you tell which one Jesus was in? I believe it's this one because you can see at one time before the gates were up here, the pilgrims touching. Look how much deeper it is, where people have been putting their hands and put it compared to the other one. Look, it's level. Here it's deep. So, and again, this is the other one, and this is the one I believe Jesus would have been in. And we can see early Christians coming in. The Alpha Omega, Christ, Christ, and a Templar, and all of them when they went through in the Crusaders, going in. There's lots of different art people have put in. It's hard to see, but people have scratched over people in 1500s. I mean, it's just amazing to think 600s. This is me touching the rock. I'm actually not only just wanting to touch the rock. At that time, I'm praying for all of you. I prayed for Holy Trinity by the lake, the people that are on our prayer list, those who have been sick. And matter of fact, I got a call just an hour before that one of our church members' mom had passed away, and I prayed for them. I was like, I'm so glad you told me right now. I'll be praying. So all of you guys were prayed for at the tomb. Again, another beautiful picture of it. Where else would get in trouble? But I went over the fence, because again, nothing's too good for you guys. So. But that's the tomb. And there's Karen coming out of the tomb. There's Zoe. There's me.
Why does it look like you're running out?
Because I saw something and I don't want to talk about it.
And I'm out.
Up here, can you see these boxes? Up there, it's kind of hard to see. Those are ossuaries. So that's what you would put the bones in and put it with your family. And of course, a great picture of all of us. We're just absolutely thrilled. It's a highlight of my life to be able to do this. There's another picture of us. And we took communion there. And he's risen. We did it. We did it. Yes. So anyway, so that's it. For this, like I said, if I can, I'm going to be showing post-resurrection pictures. Hopefully in Easter, I just have to do, talk with Jonathan. I just want to make sure I don't interfere if he has a class all set up, ready to go. So anyway, and then again, we're going to have Christmas. We're going to have the birth of Christ and all that goes with that during Advent. So I hope y'all will come and see it. Thank you guys out there for watching with us today as we get ready for Palm Sunday. God bless.
Keep the palms and burn them for ashes for next Ash Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you do?
Yep. Okay. All right. This is not letting me in. Here we go.